In this video, I'm going to be talking about constant member functions. The reserved word const in C++, right, C-O-N-S-T, has a lot of different uses. So we've seen it for declaring constants, like const double tax rate is assigned the value of 0.08, for instance. We've seen it used in constant reference parameters, and now we're going to see the use of it in classes. So when you're creating a class, it's important for a programmer who's using that class to know if a function that they call will or will not change the data members. So here's our rectangle class, and we've got two data members, length and width. So we're just going to look at all these functions. The constructors we know are going to change the data members because their job is to set the data members to an initial state. Set functions also will change data members, right? Set length is going to change the length, set width is going to change the width. Get functions just return something, so they are not going to change the value of the data member. So these would be examples of constant member functions. And the word const goes right here after the heading before the semicolon. So get functions are almost always const. Here's just an area function. This does a calculation and returns it, which is const. And our display function is just going to display the data member, so it's also a constant member function. Now, if we put it in our prototype or in the heading, it also has to go in the function heading here in the function when you write the functions as well. So get length has to be constant. You can see these have red here because right now they're not matching because the prototype has const and this does not. So I'm going to go into each of these functions and add that member function. Add const to it so that now the heading matches the prototype, and I'm going to run it. Okay, so basically it still runs as it did before, but what's important is that a programmer using this class knows that if it calls, for instance, the display function, none of the data members are going to be changed. So let me just come in here for a minute and I'll demonstrate one more thing. Just move that over. If I was in here and I tried to change a data member like this, you'll notice that I can't, right? You can see the red squiggly line here, and it's because I'm not allowed to assign anything into length. So by putting that const there, it prevents anybody from actually doing that. So we can be assured it's not going to change. And because the purpose of a class is code reuse, right, so that other programmers can use your class, this is really an important concept. So you really should be using const on any of the functions that do not change the data member. If you try and put it on a set function, you will get an error because in a set function, for instance, you'll notice here it's assigning something into the data member. It's changing it, so that one's not constant.